G'day guys, and welcome to today's video where we are completely overhauling the messy touring setup on my 79 Series Landcruiser, and we're going to be installing a new organisation system on 4-wheel drive interiors. Stick around, it's going to be a good one. We're going to start having a look at the issues with the setup, and we're going to begin on the passenger side of the canopy. And very first thing that we can kind of see here is the fridge. So the fridge at the moment is not on a slide, it's just strapped straight down to the canopy floor, and unfortunately it's very difficult to try to get anything out, first of all because the drawers are there as well, so it kind of makes it a bit awkward, as you can see. But it's also impossible without having to get some sort of a stool or something. It's really hard to get anything out of the back of the fridge. The first part of the fridge is really easy to get things out of, but I normally use the back part as a freezer. So trying to bring things from that side over into this side is really difficult. So that needs to change. Something needs to change, whether I get a little bit of a drawer kind of slide or something like that. I've got a few ideas that I'm going to share with you guys, and we're going to get this sorted today one way or another. So I've got a few ideas for that with the help of 4-wheel drive interiors. So they've got a few suggestions for me here. So the other thing is these drawers. So these drawers, while it seemed like a good idea when I first installed them to put them on top of each other, I can see straight down into that top drawer, no worries. But unfortunately, when you pull up to campsites, they are not level. So what happens is you have to lift one side, and it's typically going to be, for whatever reason, all the campsites I've been to anyway, I've had to lift up this side. So that actually brings the height from here all the way up to here, which typically wouldn't be a problem, but then you include the fact that the fridge also gets lifted up even higher, so you're having to reach even further in, and this drawer is even higher again. So I actually end up moving this drawer, something like this, and I'm looking down into it, it's just not working out. So that is a bit of a problem. So I don't really want anything much higher than about where the height of the fridge is here. That kind of gives you a bit of an idea that we're kind of struggling a little bit with trying to, just accessibility. It's always the biggest thing, guys. So these two stacked on top of each other is not working out. This actually a little roof console that I made up here is actually working out really well. That's not a problem for me. The other thing as well is that when you go camping with other people. So for example, when I go camping with my family and they want to get things out of the fridge or they want to get things out of the drawer, they just can't get things out of there. So unfortunately, it's a little bit of a limitation at the moment. So we need to try and make this side a little bit more accessible. I also have a lot of things just floating around because I've run out of room in my drawers. So these drawers are pretty much just filled with just awkward sized things like, saucepans, things like that, little bits and pieces, plates, all that sort of stuff. It's just not organized very well because there's just not enough room. So when you have something that's an awkward shape and size in a small drawer, it takes up the entire space. Or else you have to try to put it in a different spot, which again, then you're having to carry around more boxes and things like that. So unfortunately, at the moment, these drawers just aren't working out for me, and the accessibility into the fridge is not that great either. Now I do again have lots of just things just lying around because they don't fit in the drawers. So for example, I've got some drinking water there. Even though I've got a tap at the back of the canopy, I still like to carry a little bit of drinking water, but again, that's just floating around and it moves around all over the place. Same thing with my first aid kit. Because I often end up putting things like camping chairs down this little side here, this often ends up getting moved around, which is not a good idea. You should always have your first aid kit and things like fire extinguishers all in the one spot. My fire extinguisher, because it can't fit anywhere in here without damaging something, also at the moment sits in the tool drawer at the back of the canopy, which again is not a good idea because I have to go back and unlock that to be able to get to the fire extinguisher. So at this point, this side is just not working out for me. It's the most important side because this is where you do all my cooking and preparation. This is where all my storage needs to be. So let's go over to the driver's side now and see what that looks like. Now we've found our way to the driver's side of the canopy, and there's not much to talk about here, guys. It is just literally an empty storage space. But the thing that bothers me about this is there is a lot of wasted space, and all of this stuff that I have here, for example, I've got a mattress topper, I've got this this spare stool. I always carry spare stools for people in case they forget their camping chair. Seems to be something that a lot of people forget when we go camping. I've got heaps of all the mattress toppers, like I said, all the bedding for my rooftop tent, everything. It just all at the moment sits down, and it's just a waste of space because there's all this extra room here that we could be using. So to best utilize that, we'll be putting a drawer system in here that'll run the full width of the canopy, and then this stuff will then be brought up on top of the drawers. So that's the plan. So full drive interiors are going to help us out for today's video. So that's going to be awesome to be able to get some extra storage in here, some extra drawer storage as well, and then be able to lift all this stuff. If we can't fit it in the drawers, all the stuff will then go on top of the drawer setup that we're going to be putting in here. Another little storage consideration we need to have a look at today too is going to be fishing rods. So I only have the one, but my nephew has plenty because he loves to fish, and I will join him on occasion. So we want to try to get some sort of fishing rod storage, and unfortunately when you carry fishing rods in this setup at the moment, it leans on things and it does damage fishing rods. So we've had a couple of fishing rods just get a little bit damaged just from the longer trips, just even just the standard roads, just moving the fishing rods around has unfortunately damaged some of the fishing rods. So we need to try to find a way, a couple of solutions that we have planned to try to get them off things so that they're not rubbing on anything. So that's the plan for today. We're going to head down to full drive interiors after we rip everything out of this canopy, and they're going to help us out with the install of the drawers. But first, like I said, we need to get everything out of this canopy, and then we'll have a nice open space to be able to reorganize everything. Let's do it. So one thing I just want to demonstrate, which was again one of the things that I didn't really think would be a big issue, but as time went on it was, and it kind of slipped my mind a little bit, was the fact that these kind of standard generic drawers, although good and reasonably priced, they have their drawbacks, and the big thing is the fact that the drawer runners don't go all the way out, and they also don't lock. So a couple of problems with that is you actually don't have access to that back third of the drawer if you have the front 2/3 stacked. So as an example, I've got just a standard sort of a storage pack here, and that's okay to get things out of here, but the second it goes any further back than that, that last third is completely unusable because this drawer doesn't come out any further than what you see here. And whenever I'm on some sort of angle, it always just slides back a little bit because it doesn't have any lockout mechanism in this drawer. So those are just a few things I just wanted to bring to your attention, and that our new drawer system will fix. And when you guys are on long trips, and I have found this as well, is that you need to use everything that you bring on a long trip. So for me, being able to use the full length of the drawer and not having to move things around all the time is actually going to be a massive time saver and is going to save me a lot of headaches. All right, legends, it is day 2 of the complete restructure of my 79 series organization in the back of the canopy, and today is an exciting day. We're up to day 2 now of the build, and we are heading off to Full Drive Interiors in town, and we have got some new drawers to go in, so we're on our way there right now. Let's get stuck into it. It's going to be a good day. After pulling up to the Full Drive Interiors warehouse, I was greeted by Dave and Eric, who will be sorting the fit out for the new canopy drawer system. They are great guys, and we had a lot of fun today getting these drawers in between some great banter. Eric started by laying down the base skeleton structure for the drawers to bolt to. With this in place, it was time to dummy fit the drawer surrounds to make sure the door locks won't foul in the drawer system. I've done that in the past before with my generic drawers that I had, and I had to rip them all out after 2 to 3 hours of work, so we definitely made sure that we checked the locks won't foul on these new drawers. So after Eric and Dave put the structure in the bottom there, just to give the drawers something to bolt onto, we've now just kind of dummy fitted the drawers. So the next step is to make sure we've got enough room for the drawer handles, because they do come out a little bit, just to make sure it's not going to foul on the latches there and on our locks on the canopy doors. So that's the next step, and then bolt everything down, put the new drawers in, and then we should be good to go. But it's looking really good so far. Really happy with the quality of these drawers as well. I mean, it's night and day compared to the generic drawers that I had in there before. You can really feel the quality of these drawers. Yeah, I'm really excited about it, guys. This is turning out to be everything that I wanted and so much more. I'm super excited. After bolting the surrounds down and popping the drawers in, Eric showed me how the locking mechanisms work and how to remove them if I need to remove the drawers. The whole system is logical and easy for the everyday bloke to figure out, but having the professionals explain the reasoning behind the design was greatly appreciated, as I slowly learned more and more about how every accessory that gets installed on my 79 works and what makes a quality product. Before I knew it, everything was bolted in and I was on my way home to finish off some final changes to my new canopy setup. Guys, we are back at North Oz HQ after spending the morning at Full Drive Interiors, and to say I'm excited about these drawers is definitely an understatement. This is the first time I've ever had to set up anything close to this. So I'm very excited about this. So I'm gonna show you exactly what it looks like now. I've already shown you a few things like how they put it together, for example. So I'm not gonna go into too much detail about that, but I am gonna show you just kind of my first impressions and also what I'm thinking at this point in terms of storage. And I am gonna leave a couple of things off the list of things to do today, just because I'm starting to reconsider a few things, especially the fridge, for example. I'm reconsidering how I can best utilize a space in here for long periods of time. So we'll talk about that in a second. So let's have a look at what these new drawers look like, because guys, I am so excited. That's so cool. So one of the very first things that I'm sure that you guys can see as well is just how little room is wasted in here. So we've got about 50 mil, maybe a little bit less on each side of the opening. So there's not a lot of room at all, but there's just enough just for a little bit of wiggle room just in case. So for example, there's a little bit of room down here just for my lithium battery and my inverter and that to breathe. So it's not being, really, it's not cooking from both sides. So that's a good thing. Wanted to make sure we had a little bit of room there, but it's perfectly centered with the door. So it's, gives you a little bit of room on each side if I do want to tuck a few things down here. But in terms of wasted space, there is like none in here now. And we pretty much had to take, a little bit of time just to make sure that it didn't foul on the locks, because we were probably about 10 or 20 mil on either side of the locks here on the doors. So it's this, that you're not going to get much more drawer in here is what I'm trying to say. So I'm pretty excited about how much room that these drawers take up. It really gives you full access to that bottom layer, that bottom level, and then we've got that whole top level as well. So in terms of space utilization, you're not going to get any better than this, just because it is pretty close to a custom drawer setup. So super excited about that, and I can't wait to start decking it out. So as you would have seen, there are a couple of layers to this. So this very first top layer here, you can obviously bring out. So if I choose to have a fridge on here, I can bring that fridge out of here, and yeah, all that goes all the way out. There is about probably about 150 mil in the back there that stays stationary. The reason for that is because most slides built for drawers, for example, for dual cabs and canopies and that, they are about this size, so they don't have that extra 150 mil on them. So this is kind of like a standard slide size for a standard sort of a tub sort of setup. So they don't really make that extra distance in the slide, and quite frankly, you don't need it. I mean, if you need that extra, this comes out so far as it is. It's mind-blowing, and you can access everything you need to the back of this slide here as well. It only leaves about this much room in the back that doesn't slide all the way out, as opposed to my last drawers where it left like a whole third. So we'll have a look and see what those drawers look like as well. So the other thing I really like about these, you don't have to slam them shut either. You can if you want to, so you can give it a decent push if you want. But if you just want to kind of like soft close it, like especially if the people are sleeping, the campsites and that, you can just hold that little lever and just shut it really gently, and it won't come out now. So that's something that is really cool. On those cheaper drawers, you really have to, I got them here, you have to slam them and to be able to get them to shut. And at night time, it's not very good camping etiquette. So these drawers here, let me show you exactly how much room we get with these now. I'm not even sure if I've got enough room to extend all the way out here, but these are impressive. So remember back to the previous or earlier in the video where I had those drawers, there's about the back third that you couldn't access. So this actually gives you access to probably, I would say, like 6/7 of the drawer. There's only a tiny little bit in the back here that you can't access, and even then it's nowhere near as bad as it was with those other drawers. So this gives you a huge amount of room to use on the inside here. Like, there's other things as well in terms of build quality that it's really hard to, I guess, convey over the camera. There's only so much that you can film over a few hours. So one of the things I was talking to the boys is that, what a lot of the cheaper companies do is they don't consider like bearing heights. Like, one of the things that these runners run on bearings, and they don't consider that the bearings have like drop. So they actually engineer these to have a certain amount of drop from one end to the other, which allows them to run really smoothly all the way to the back, and you don't get that dunk as it goes through past the bearings. So that was something that I never thought about, and again, I would love to sit down with these guys one day and just talk, for a whole 3 or 4 hours about how great these drawers are and how they're different to some of the other drawers that you can buy out there. These drawers do cost a lot more than the ones that you're going to get at BCF and Anaconda and those places, but ultimately there is a reason, and you do notice the quality, and the difference is that when you roll your drawer out, you're not getting that dunk, you know what I mean? So it's little things like that. Just the quality and the locking mechanisms, like, basic stuff, like when you go to shut this, you don't need to slam it to close it, shut it, done. That's not a huge amount of effort. On my last ones, I used to have to get a big run up and shut it. It's also got a lot of tension all the way out as well. So even if you are on a little bit of an incline, it's going to hold a bit of tension there. Unlike those ones that I had, where you're just like any small amount of incline or decline, and it's going to be moving in or out. So that was really annoying, but that locking mechanism is just so high quality that you can just shut it like that, and that's locked now. You know what I mean? So it's hard for me to describe how exciting that is for me as someone who's had drawers where I've had to slam them for the last 3 or 4 years. So this is a very exciting bit of kit for me. The fact that I have 2 of them, I got split level, is awesome. And if I wanted to, I could sleep in the back here. I could leave these doors open, just put some mosquito net around here, and I have got a perfectly fine sleeping platform here. So that's something that I may consider in the future, but food for thought, definitely. Lots of ideas that this can kind of produce, and it gives you lots of opportunities to try out different setups. So that's something I'm definitely considering in the future. So another thing I wanted to talk about was the fridge situation. So I'm not going to get to that today, but I do have some things I want to show you guys as to what we can do today. One of the things with the fridge is that I do have a chest fridge, as you guys know. It's a pretty expensive one as well, so I don't really want to sell that for no reason. So I am considering getting a slightly cheaper, just stand-up fridge, just for weekends and stuff like that. But I do want to still keep my chest fridge. So the idea behind this is that the stand-up fridge is just going to be a smaller one. It's just going to be for the smaller trips, and it's just going to live there kind of permanently. on the longer trips, it's going to be kind of my go-to fridge for, you know, what I'm going to be using in that day or in those few days. The rest of it's going to go in the larger chest fridge. So I won't be going in and out of that chest fridge all the time. So it won't be on a drop slide at this stage. I might put it on drop slide. I'll see how it goes. But I'm trying to save a little bit of weight. I'm trying to save a little bit of money as well. Just in regards to that anyway. I don't really want to be spending an extra $1,000 plus on a drop down slide, you know. It's just one of those things. So the chest fridge is going to be over on that side there, and a stand-up fridge, just a cheap one, could go here. Just the cheap kind of 60-ish litre ones will fit in this area from my measurements so far. So that's going to be an upcoming video, so keep an eye out on that one. So I am planning to run a double fridge slash freezer kind of a combo. So stand-up fridges have a little freezer section in there as well, and so do the chest fridge. My chest fridge has a little freezer section. So plenty of freezer space, plenty of fridge space, and I think that on longer trips where I'm going off-grid for a week or two, having the two fridges is pretty much going to be, it's pretty much going to be a must really. So I don't have to keep stopping off at all the big towns all the time. So super handy. This just, like I said, guys, the cogs are turning in my brain. I'm thinking out loud a little bit here, and I'm just really excited about having all this extra space to work with and all this opportunity to not waste space, guys. That's what it's all about. So this has taken up a good portion of this height. So now I'm actually able to pack out these drawers, and then we can start filling out these, the kind of the top layer, I guess, of this multi-level storage system. And then, yeah, and then we'll be able to fit heaps of stuff on here and go camping. Exciting times. Before we move on to some more storage solutions and different, I guess, like little fixes for the canopy here, I'd also just want to touch on just really quickly on how impressed I was with the guys over at Full Drive Interiors. Like, you know, everyone who I've talked to from there has just been so easy to deal with. Like, nothing was a problem. Everyone here knew their products really well. They knew how to install them. They knew everything about them. They're involved heavily in the design and engineering of them. Like that's what you want from a company. So I just wanted to kind of just put that in there. No one's told me to say anything, but I just feel like that's important for me to get across to you guys, just in terms of like being one of the original people to make this type of product. I think it's important as well that we realize that the people that are involved in the installation and stuff of this and that are still behind the product are the ones that initially created it as well, which I think is really important. So we'll move on to some of the fixes that I have, and it involves, as you guys can see, I turn on this light here, and that is because we have another one of these lights. So we're going to have two of these lights running. We're going to have that one there, and we're going to have another one on the other door, and they're going to be all hooked up to the same switch as well. So when I turn the lights on, all the lights are going to go on both sides. So we'll go on the other side as well in a second, and we'll have a look and see what that looks like. I also have these, which are some broom and mop grippers. So what these do, basically sit out like this, and then when you want to put your fishing rod in there for storage, it just kind of molds around it. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to be installing them as well onto the roof, and we're also going to be putting those tie-down tracks, actually you have them here, I'm going to be putting these tie-down tracks back into the canopy as well, just on the roof this time instead of being on the bottom. And I'm just going to run some tie-down cables just from, yeah, pretty much just from Oki straps, just from one side to the other, and that's how the fishing rods will kind of stay up in that position without getting damaged. So that's kind of the plan at this point. I've also got some Velcro as well here, some hook and loop just for the light as well. So I'm going to get stuck into putting that next light on there as well. We're going to get some of that fishing rod stuff, storage done, and then by the time we have done that, I think we'll be all finished with today's video. So I'll get stuck into that, and then yeah, and then we'll wrap up today's video. Guys, like I said, I'm so stoked about this drawer setup. I'm too excited about it. So having a look at the driver's side just really quickly, this is just obviously the back of the drawer system, so you don't access the drawer from this side, and you've got, like I said, that kind of like 150 mil or so of that fixed space, which is fine because I want to keep things here anyway. I don't want it to be sliding back and forward, so that works out well for me. And we've also got down here just a little bit of extra storage, just because that's just the distance literally from where you are the opening of the canopy to the edges of the canopy. So you can't fill that space anyway, but what I do plan on doing is putting things like spare towels and stuff like that down there. Also some vertical storage as well, which will be for things like the solar blanket that I have for when I'm pulling up for long periods of time. I'll be able to set out the solar blanket and hook it up to my 12-volt system that I put together. So pretty handy little setup. Like I said, everything fits in here really perfectly. I'm just so stoked with it. So let's get that light in here, and also let's get that fishing rod storage sorted out for me and my nephew, and then we should be pretty much good to go. I'll let you know how successful I am with those two little projects. How good is that? I can actually see what I'm doing now. So I've just finished up on the driver's side with the new light, which just connected up easily to the existing one. And I've also got the rod rack in there. It's not too bad. It's holding up pretty good. We'll see how it goes over time. But it's just a pretty quick, simple, and easy sort of fix, that one. I'm not sure how those broom handle holder sort of things are going to go. We'll see how it goes over time. But for now, it looks pretty good. I'm not sure if I've got enough Velcro on there or not as well, so I'll need to have a look at that. They do move around just a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue as long as the rod doesn't get damaged. I'm happy, but like I said, I'll just have to see how that goes. But for the driver's side, we are all done. So unfortunately, time has gotten away from me, guys, and it is the end of the second day of completely ripping out the canopy and starting all over again, and I'm super stoked with where we're at right now. It's really, really clean setup. Everything has a place at the moment. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten around to organizing the drawers like I'd hoped, but I really don't want to rush that, guys. So I hope that you guys understand, just for upcoming videos, that we will be doing a install on a new fridge of some description, or I'll at least be making a decision on what I want to do with my current fridge setup, and doing a bit of a long-term setup, and also doing a bit of a camping for weekends sort of a setup as well. So stick around, keep an eye out for what I do in regards to the fridge setup. Also, just regarding the 12 volt as well, I do really want to neaten up. I still have some 12 volts, you know, those cigarette socket or accessory socket style that I want to get rid of, and I want to replace that with an Anderson. So I'll be combining a few of my accessories into just the one Anderson plug. So that's kind of plan at the moment. Unfortunately, ran out of time today, so we'll be doing that in upcoming episodes. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. I also just want to give, again, another shout out to 4Drive Interiors. Like, this has just turned out so good. I'll leave some clips at the end of this video of just, you know, my family's reaction to the drawers, just because, you know, I always like to see what they think of it. They're pretty passionate as well, just like I am. So, and they absolutely loved it, spoiler alert. So I just want to give a shout out to 4Drive Interiors. This has turned out so awesome, and I'll leave some links in the description and in the comment section for where you can find some of this gear as well if you want to purchase some of this for yourself and for your own setups. Obviously, initial impressions are it's really high quality, and after talking to the guys at 4Drive Interiors, they pointed out a lot of things that make this product stand out above all of the others as well. So really, really impressed with, you know, the setup so far, and I'm really impressed with the quality as well. So I just wanted to kind of end on a little bit of a shout out. I'll also put some clips at the end of this video to finish up, because I think that'll be a nice way to finish up, to see what my family think of the new setup in the back of the canopy. So until the next video, guys, I'll see you in the comments anyway. So make sure you ask any questions that you have. And apart from that, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for joining me today. I love how this canopy has turned out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Welcome home, Dad. Here we go. We're going to get first impressions of the new drawer system.
Let's have a look at this.
Let's see what he thinks.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's amazing. Oh, look at that. And it's still coming.
Look at it go. Look at it go.
Yeah, it's huge. Wow. Oh, I love the handles.
Yeah. See how easy it clicks?
Oh,
so like when you close it, you don't have to slam it for one.
No.
You can just you can hold it open like that, shut it. That's now locked.
Yeah.
See the difference?
Brilliant. Wow.
Well built, eh? It's got all these dividers and stuff in here too that they gave me.
Oh yeah.
These dividers that you can put in
right.
between here.
Yep.
And they screw in there as well, so they're not moving.
That's very, very nice.
How good's that?
It is very nice.
And the tops slide as well.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so you pull this here. You gotta give it, there it is.
Oh, right. Wow. It's sturdy too, isn't it?
It can take 100 kilos.
Wow.
The drawer can take 100 kilos, and so can the slide out.
Seriously. I'll just push it in.
Yeah.
So nice. Gee.
Nice, eh?
That's beautiful.
I was telling the folks at home earlier, because this will just be tacked on the end of the video, but I was telling the folks at home that how, like, these guys were the original creators of the drawer, of like the actual 4-wheel drive drawer.
Yeah, right, right.
So these are like the original drawers. These are like the original, before anyone started copying them, these were the first guys to do it. So
They've got so much space.
yeah, and they said like little things like how the drawers roll out.
Yeah.
It feels different to how the like cheap ones do.
And it feels sturdy, like it doesn't
Yeah,
feel...
like you open up this one here, and it kind of goes like, you know,
Yeah.
like you load it up and you can feel that dug, 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 you know?
Yeah.
And then even then, like there's no tension on any of the bearings at any time.
No.
The bearings are tiny as well. So even on this angle here, which is the same angle that we're on over here, these don't move even at halfway.
But what a great handle.
And the handle's rock solid too. You can actually grab it, you know,
And
you're
it's
not...
common sense, you're not going underneath.
Yeah, it's on top. And because this is like, even though this is pretty tall, it's still easier to go above than it is to go underneath.
It is, yeah, it is.
Yeah. So it makes a lot of sense, eh?
Very well thought out.
Yeah. And I added extra lights and stuff on the inside too, so...
That looks good, eh?
Yeah.
Right,
So-
you're set.
Yep. Just got to organise it now and then we'll be all sweet.
That looks terrific.
So the idea is I'm going to get a stand-up fridge for here,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm going to put my chest fridge on the other side, so I'm going to have double fridge.
Yep, so when you're going to pull it out for your fridge? Or?
Yeah. I can, yeah.
You're going to attach a fridge to the top of that?
To yeah, this side, so it's over the axle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I've got a tie down kit that I can use, so I'll figure that one out as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty good, eh?
Oh, wow. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it.
Yeah.
You can't get it like any closer to anything. Like, look at how far out the drawers come. Like, you're not going to get it any closer, and the drawers recess perfectly to allow for the locks to shut.
Yeah.
Just everything just works.
Very well thought out.
I want your initial impressions on something. North Oz related.
Huh?
I want your initial impressions on something. North Oz related.
Yeah.
I want to have a look at the canopy.
Oh. That's nice.
Look up.
Yeah, got a rod rack.
Little rod rack. What do you reckon about that?
Yeah.
You better fit your rods in there.
If you have a two-piece.
Yeah. No, yours would fit in there. Because yours fits that way, remember?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's alright.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah. Easy, eh?
Yeah, good. That's the better system, I reckon. They can come right out, or
Yep.
is it bolted?
Bring it out.
Nice.
Whoa. Whoa, I can fit
Stick
in
a
that.
long-handled shovel in there.
I reckon we could fit him in there. And actually, these are rated to 100 kilos, so we could probably fit a couple of you in
Oh,
there.
I can fit in that.
Yeah. Go to sleep, and lock you in for the night.
Yep. Vampires.
Yeah. And the top moves as well. So you just bring it that way. It's got need a little bit of weight to it. And then pull it.
What is that for?
Just a
Table?
slide.
Use it as what?